В трубе, сука! Труба куда ведет? На суджу нахуй, это же ёбнуться!
Russian sabotage attempt in the Kursk region ends in disaster. Russian troops tried to crawl through a pipeline to infiltrate Ukrainian positions near Sudzha, but Ukraine was ready. Intelligence had already flagged their plan to use underground gas pipelines for sabotage, just like they did in Avdiivka. The airborne troops set the perfect trap. They waited for the Russians to emerge, let them group up, then collapse the exit, cutting off any chance of escape. After that, it was just cleanup. Most of the group was eliminated. The rest are trapped or in full panic mode, calling for help that will never come. Russian troops tried to infiltrate the Sudzha sector by crawling through the Brotherhood pipeline, a pipe with only 1,420 millimeters in diameter. According to Ukrainian sources, around 100 Russian soldiers were involved in this attempt, of which 80% were destroyed. The General Staff stated that the situation in the Sudzha area in the Kursk region is under the control of the Ukrainian command and has denied reports of a large-scale Russian breakthrough in the Sumy region. Reports of a large-scale breakthrough of Ukraine's state border by Russian forces are false. In the areas of Novenke and Zhuravka in the Sumy region, the enemy continues to operate in small sabotage and reconnaissance groups and infantry units of only a few soldiers. They are attempting to establish a foothold to expand the combat zone, but are being systematically eliminated, the General Staff told the Ukrainska Pravda. At the same time, the General Staff confirmed that Russian special forces used a branch of the Urengoy-Pomory-Uzhgorod gas pipeline to attempt to gain a foothold near Sudzha in Russia's Kursk region. A video published by Ukraine's air assault forces shows Russian saboteurs being detected as they emerged from the pipeline. The video captures that Russian saboteurs were then targeted with artillery and HIMARS. The General Staff reports that Russian forces are being detected, blocked, and eliminated. The heaviest assault attempts by the enemy happened along the Koronevo-Sudzha axis and near Novoye Ivanivka, Malaya Lokhnya, and areas south of Sudzha. The Russian units involved include the 177th Marine Regiment, the 810th Marine Brigade, airborne troops, Kadyrov's Akhmat Battalion, and the 1,427th Regiment. Reports also indicate that up to 2 battalions of North Korean troops have been deployed in the area. Miltarny has reported that Ukraine's Ranger Regiment recently conducted a raid on Russian and North Korean positions in the Kursk region. Footage from the phones of some of the 100 Russians that were sent through 15 kilometers of abandoned Druzhba pipeline yesterday, whining and not yet knowing that Ukrainian forces were waiting for them. Check out the latest from the Russian gas service on combat duty. They sent the whole squad to unclog the Sudzha pipes, but the Ukrainian armed forces upgraded the service with cluster plumbers, and now it's less gas, more blast.
Yeah, fucking hell. So what do you say, guys? Where the fuck are we? In the pipe, damn it. Where does the pipe lead? To Sudzha, damn it. That's insane. Would have never thought. 12 kilometers through a pipe, damn it, carrying water, damn it. What's the holdup? Are they not letting through? Or what the fuck happened? Man, this is something else. Henna, what do you say, bro? Fuck. Hello. Fuck, this is crazy. Fuck them. That's how we are going. What the hell are you doing, guys? What the hell is going on? There's my babe over there. I'll come out and show you later. You'll be amazed. Where to? Everything's fine. I'm there, baby. Going on a mission. It's safe there. Everything's cool. In essence, under the pipe for 12 kilometers. But it's all good.
Russian military channels are now reporting that most of them were killed, either because of suffocation or by Ukrainian drones or cluster munitions. This unit also stated that they had prepared everything: ventilation, settling tanks, water and provisions, communications, etc. But it turned out that they had been screwed and had not prepared. Everyone on the ground knows the result. The question is, will there be a charge for those who suffocated? Russian millblogger Romanov reports. According to informed sources, the Ukrainian armed forces are not retreating from their positions in the Kursk region, and there is no encirclement of Ukrainian troops at this time. Despite a deteriorating situation in the Kursk region, Ukrainian forces are taking measures to stabilize the front line and are planning countermeasures to address the ongoing threats. The situation began to worsen following a Russian advance northwest of Sudzha, particularly in the area stretching from Sverdlikovo toward the Ukrainian state border. Russia shares footage of Ukraine's Magura USV launching a smaller drone, allegedly targeting gas platforms in the Black Sea. The attack involved 3 different modifications of unmanned explosive boats, and Russian bloggers are mad. The video shows a Ukrainian BEC Magura Venom releasing a smaller BEC to attack our gas extraction platform. In total, 3 BECs of different modifications took part in the attack. Despite the relatively large size of the target, it's quite challenging to hit because their maneuverability, speed, and armament allow them to strike from long firearm ranges. And even though their hulls are made of fiberglass, they can withstand single hits up to 7.62 millimeters pretty well. Plus, the minigun on board dishes out serious firepower on land, water, and air alike. We managed to repel the attack once again. I can guess why the Ukrainians have been so stubbornly and persistently attacking the self-propelled drilling rig for years now, losing a decent amount of manpower and those same BCs in the process. It's obviously not about stopping us from extracting gas from the bottom of the Black Sea, which they claim their ancestors dug out. No one's extracting anything there under the barrage of Neptunes and BECs. A drilling rig is a damn serious, practically unsinkable steel structure weighing 15,000 tons. On top of that, it's equipped with a helicopter pad. And they're positioned pretty much in the middle of the Black Sea. Whoever controls the GDU can use it to deploy any kind of payload, and consequently dominate the sea for miles around. They can spot those same BECs, incoming missiles, and drones heading for Crimea or the bridge, and so on. From there, you could even catch sight of the long-awaited Kokhol amphibious assault on Crimea's coast. Quite likely, they're trying to clear the way for that very landing. And of course, they could use it in logistical setups for naval and air combat operations. These are real outposts where our warriors stand today. And the main, practically the only form of fire support for them is our naval aviation. The Kokli know this all too well, which is why they attack at night or under the cover of fog. Because they desperately want to turn these into their own outposts. But our guys are holding on, year after year. I think today, the GDUs are the biggest headache for the Kokli in the Black Sea. That's why the fight for them is so brutal.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.